This is Channel Attitude. Your voice, your right, your freedom.
Jimmy! Ricky! You! Smack Attack!
Hello everyone and welcome to the Smack Attack. I am your host Jimmy T. That is my co-host R to the B to the V, and we are live on Hamim Media Group's YouTube channel, on the Twitch, and of course channelattitude.com after the fact. Rick, what's crack-a-lackin', man, and welcome back.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Great to be back here on the Smack Attack with my one, my only, my number one veggie mate, Mr. Jimmy T. Hey, there ain't no other place I'd rather be. Hey, I'll tell you what, both of those intros, man, from our Bluey brand to the Blue World Order theme there, you just can't help but get in a good mood and dance along as we kick off the Smack Attack each and every week. I see over in the chat, man, we are already going strong here.
Absolutely.
Liz in the chat, she's talking about that rain, go away. I didn't know Liz is in Ohio. I didn't know that.
Yeah, she's from Texas originally, but moved to Ohio.
Well, good. You moved to the greatest state in these United States of America, the OHIO. But yeah, I'm here in Southern Ohio, the Cincinnati Tri-State. Liz, it is pouring rain. We've had floods. We've had rain. We're going insane. But hey, we're looking forward to having a good time. May 3rd here on the Smack Attack.
Absolutely, man. I just do want to thank the chat. First of all, let's acknowledge this guy. He always wants to be acknowledged. He's the master. And
oh, Jimmy with the pause. Hey, you know what? I just got off the record with pause, but Jimmy, hey, here's what he's gonna say when he comes back here in just a moment. I don't know what it is. It only happens when I do this show. Look at that freeze frame, that beautiful mug from down under. But yeah, Zane Vicious, acknowledge your king. The king has froze the screen. But yeah, as the chat is filling up, we appreciate everybody. Do us a favor, let everybody know you're here. Hit that share button, copy the link to the episode here, head on over to your socials. Share away. Let's have a good time, because it's Derby Day. Kentucky Derby. We are just hours away. Post time, 6:57. I said it's raining here in Southern Ohio. It's raining in the state of Kentucky. We're going to have some big old them horses. They're going to be some mutters running tonight, getting after it as we're awaiting the reemergence, the reappearance here of my co-host, Mr. Jimmy T. We have got some headlines to talk about. A lot in the news. At the forefront, everybody buzzing about the future endeavors that began to be released yesterday, just hours before SmackDown aired. As usual, as par for the course, wrestling fans freaking out about this here. Why? Why is it every time this year that people are in disbelief that we get these announcements? They don't understand why so-and-so isn't making the cut, why they're no longer employed. We're going to run them down. We're going to talk about them. Hey, we've also got, we love it when you hit our super chats. We hope it doesn't get into our funds here, because I know, you know what now, the HMG, the Army is way too smart for this, but there are some marks out there that are so deep in the bubble that are so got their head buried in that AEW sand. They're going to be spending some money to be a super chat buddy with a prominent name. We're going to be talking about that. We've also got, we're here talking about pro wrestling. We're going to be talking about a little amateur style wrestling that's coming to life. And of course, the little hashtag RBV Eats Out. Mainly, we've got some wrestlers at Waffle House news we're going to be talking about. But hey, we want to talk about your favorite breakfast spots, the spots that you hit up. Again, Jimmy T on his way back. So, hey, you know me, I like the sound of my own voice. So we'll just chat it up. So we'll get some things going here. The news and the notes that are happening out there around the world. Again, the prominent news breaking just before Smack Attack into the afternoon, Friday afternoon, WWE with their really, this is a little different, their second round of releases for 2025. As you remember, going back to the early portion of the year, first quarter, business-wise for WWE, we did have a handful of releases, some contracts that were not getting renewed. What's two of the big names that came out of those that really stick out in my mind is Sonya Deville. Hers was a little different as she wasn't just released on it. They just weren't renewing her contract. But Cedric Alexander, he was part of that group as well. Liz is saying here, as an accounting girl, she doesn't understand the uproar. If you don't have a story for them, if you're sitting on the sidelines, why would you pay them? Absolutely. It's a great point, which I'll put an interesting note to watch for those that were cut earlier in the year. For many of those 90-day clauses are coming up, so some of those names might be beginning to resurface. But so really what Liz is talking about from a business aspect, an accounting perspective here, this is normal in business. You see this across the board no matter what it is, if it's professional wrestling, if it's sports, if it's entertainment, if it's retail, if it's food and drink. We each have a fiscal year. We have highs and lows. We know where things are going to dip for us. For WWE, that's quarter two. You got all that bang for the buck that you've got from WrestleMania. So that's your first couple of months there, your January, your February, your March, your first three, that first quarter. You got Rumble in there. Your bang for the buck because you've already sold pretty much all of your WrestleMania stuff. You've got, what the cities, and I'm not really sure how they break those down for the cities that are bidding on these majors. Because, hey, right now we are in an era where cities are paying big bucks to bring in these premium live events. They know what the tourism, they know the financial impact that WWE and, more importantly, wrestling fans have on the local economies, which is kudos, man. It is great for a great sign for professional wrestling. Hold on here. Jimmy saying, he just sent me a message here real quick. He's got some curse words and I won't use them here. For freak's sake, my computer gave me a blue screen into updating. I'm mad right now. Bait with me. I'm sorry. I don't know. Hold with me. Be with me. We got you, Jimmy. We got you. I'm going to tell him maybe just use his phone. But again, for your business purposes, you're looking at a time of year where it makes sense to save, especially when you've got those reports. Still, some of the company publicly traded. That might change if they do pull the TKO side back off the publicly traded, where we don't have to see all those numbers. But of course, right now, that second quarter is where you see a dip. You see dips in house show numbers. We don't have any of the prominent PLEs. I'm sure people really aren't buying as much merch right now as they usually are. So you're going to make up for that loss in financials. This is the time of year where you're going to cut some contracts. They've done it in the office. Now it's just more prominent to us that we're seeing it done to the talent. This isn't, and the wrestling fans act like it's something unique. We see this. It's easy to compare professional wrestling to the world of sports. What do you think they do in off seasons? The NFL, they cut people off of their roster. We just had their draft. They have to cut people to make room for these new kids coming in, so cuts are a part of life, a part of the business. Zane Cora Jade got hoed. Maybe I heard that was why she did get the axe. She was hoeing a little bit there, but to all of these names that are on there, kind of joking aside, but all the names, I don't think any of them are truly surprising. It wasn't they were major contributors, as Liz was saying. They weren't involved in programming. Are they really going to be missed? They've been off the air. Have people been clamoring, oh my God, another one that surprised people, Dakota Kai. Where's Dakota been? No, she is a plug and play character. They have 12 of her ready to go at the Performance Center. They are fine. It is not going to be a game changer. I'm sorry that she lost her job, that she is no longer living her dream of being a WWE superstar. But if anything, this is an opportunity to go back to that drawing board. Hope that she stays in the business of professional wrestling, that continues on with that passion. Go reinvent yourself. Maybe go learn outside. I'm completely familiar with her background, her before training, where she came up through the Indies and all that. Maybe it's an opportunity to go get that experience. Go travel the world. Go work with some different styles, some different promotions. And then maybe you come back to WWE. You're a bit wiser. You're a bit stronger. And you have a bit more value to them. Maybe make a little bit more money with them. Again, we are awaiting the return of Jimmy T. So I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves here. What kind of sucks is he's got complete control of the board. So I can't get it. I love, we got Zane here. Acknowledge your king. That's going to be just burnt into people's brains, into their minds, as they're listening, as they're following us here live at the Hameen YouTube channel, or they're watching along anytime over at Channel Attitude. But I do got some topics and some graphics, things like that, as soon as Jimmy gets back here. The only that made her say was Shayna Baszler, only because she was such a badass in NXT and got screwed by Vincent Kennedy McMahon on the main roster. Then there was no coming back from that. Shayna, I do see that where there could have been some value. I think it was misused a long time ago. You talk about how she was something special in NXT. I think, too, it was just bad timing. You have Shayna, who is certainly going to take a backseat. She's going to have to reside in that shadow of when they brought in Ronda Rousey. Good friends, but, she's always been kind of in that shadow. I think they could have done a lot more with these two ladies in a long-term program. I know we got the short one, and they hurried up and rushed that thing. But Shayna's even talked about it in interviews where they wish that they would have had a lot more time to do something together. Matt, I know you are backstage. Unfortunately, I don't have anything to do with the controls that we've got going on. If you can pop yourself in and take over, that would be great. I can't move anything, dude. I'm just a guest in here. I can't bring up graphics or anything like that. But if you could, MSG, love it, dude. Be very helpful. Or unless you can suggest it.
I do whatever I want.
Yeah, baby, look at that. He is the HMG God.
What's up? I saw that you were fucking... Well, I can't really take control. I just added myself to another computer because I don't have access on this computer. But what's going on?
Jimmy's computer just like shit on him. So he's trying to do a upgrade and reboot.
Okay.
So I'm just waiting on him.
Well, I saw you were doing this solo on the Dolo, so I was like, yeah. What's going on here? I'll see if I can jump on and help you guys chill while we're
awesome, man. Awesome. Appreciate it. Hey, I like the sound of my own voice. I can talk for a while.
You can, yeah, I know you can fucking talk forever. That's for sure.
So I was like, I got.
So what are we talking,
Rick?
Gatorades.
Right now, we're talking the big news yesterday. The releases, and not necessarily the names yet, but the surprise that we get each and every year from the wrestling fans that this happened. We know it's coming. You can almost set your watch to it. Following WrestleMania in those coming weeks, we get the Featured Endeavored list, and it's part of business. You see that everywhere. You guys see it where you're at ESPN. It's regular. You see where, and there it does surprise people when they lose the talking heads, the anchors, and things like that. But you look at your fiscal year, you look where it makes sense to save a little bit, and it's part of it. Oh, thank
God, I was trying to turn that fucking music off.
Yeah. It's been gone. I haven't heard it in a while.
Oh no, it was playing for all of us, so I just finally ended.
Okay. Well, the BWO music, I love it, man.
So okay, I mean, let's see what Jimmy did here. He added this thing. Let's text. Yep. Let's be text buddies.
We got those. We got the Tat guy.
The Tat guy.
Julia. So I got those there. I had those for us, but I just don't have the capabilities to share from my seat here. That's above my pay grade.
Well, it's fine. I'm here. So let's talk Smack Attack. Let's talk wrestling news people.
All right, so the cuts here, MSG. Your thoughts on fans being surprised and outraged, or did any of the names jump out to you?
You know, I guess before the information. Oh, thank God, Jimmy's back. Jimmy, you control the show. I got like fucking 2 computers here. I'm trying to do this right now.
Oh man, so sorry. You know what happened to me, man? I get a blue screen out of nowhere, right? And then the blue screen goes
blue
into
screen
a
for the
fucking
blue
update.
show.
Yeah, I know. Fucking it only happens on this show. So I went into a blue screen into an update, literally. But anyway, sorry, boys. Go continue, MSG, man.
Well, you know, before I saw that the stuff that came out about Paul Heyman and Braun Strowman, I was a little shocked about the Braun Strowman one because I was like, there's so much stuff they haven't done with this guy. He's been so underutilized as far as a monster. But then I saw the Paul Heyman stuff that came out, how he was getting roasted all weekend at WrestleMania. He cried to Paul Heyman about, you know, why am I not on WrestleMania? Just
what?
Yep.
Yeah.
Wait. Hold up. What's going on here? What am I missing?
Okay, we're talking about the cuts, yesterday's releases, future endeavors, and we're talking about those that might have surprised us. And MSG was saying maybe it would have been Braun Strowman until he kind of learned more about what has happened recently with the monster among men, or that big SOB.
Oh, please tell me this shit. Because you know what? It doesn't surprise me that he got released. And good riddance anyway. No shit. He's just a big dope, man.
Well, what we had essentially come out and from the roast where he was getting, just getting lit up.
I'm upset that Katana Nana got released. Now I can't get that reference anymore.
I can't believe that either. But please continue.
I'm being facetious.
I can believe all of them. But Jimmy gets overly invested in them, so that's why it's going to be a great conversation with him. But with Strowman, but Heyman pretty much went out there and said the reason you're not on WrestleMania is because you suck. You don't get the so pretty much just threw him under the bus.
He got buried.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely. In the truest sense, it gets thrown around in wrestling a lot, but he got buried by Paul Heyman there. So, and again, hey, you and I talked about here on Smack Attack. We weren't really sure what they were going to do with Strowman leading up to WrestleMania.
Right.
It was kind of just, he was that feeder for all the other people they had involved with the Fatu thing. Used that big man essentially to put Fatu over before his big WrestleMania moment. You're left if you're that involved in the build, you look like that son of a bitch, and you're left off WrestleMania, brother. You better believe you got some bad news coming your way.
Yeah, that's you know what? This makes that release even sweeter for me in a way.
Are you not a Strowman fan?
Oh, I can't stand him, dude. Not just that, I could never stand him because he's just. At first, I didn't mind him, right? But then after the Daisy Dukes and all that shit, and the fucking him being an idiot and dumb by like taking pictures of himself wearing a fucking skirt, right? With needles fucking right in front of him, right? In the bathroom. Like, you guys saw that. Remember that?
Yeah.
From that time on, I was like, fuck this guy. He's the biggest idiot, dumb, stupid cunt I've ever seen in my life. Straight up. Like, you know what I mean? That's what you call a dumb cunt, folks. Literally. Like, so since then, I just didn't like him. And then what happened with our boy Troop and him? Do you guys know this story?
Go ahead.
When they were doing the fucking NWA.
Oh, the control your narrative?
Like, control your narrative time. So he was close to Braun, right? For example. They were buds, bro. Like, he was sleeping over Braun's house and everything, right? And then he was having sleepovers at Braun's house. No shit. Like, took him under his wing and all that shit. And then he comes to one of those control your narrative bullshit, right? But they were at some sort of like event too. Like, there was a lot of wrestlers there, even WWE guys. And
Great Lakes Championship Wrestling, like something like that.
Yeah, what was that British motherfucker's name in NXT? I forgot his name now already. He was bald. He used to act like a tough guy, man. He's released now.
A bald British tough guy in wrestling. Oh yeah, that's him. We know who you're talking about.
You'll know he was big on the indies, man. He was bald. There's not many British folks that are bald. Someone in the chat, come on, man. Fucking.
Anyway, go ahead.
Anyway, he comes and tests fucking Troop out of nowhere. He just slaps him from the back of the neck, just boom. And Troop, right? He's not gonna fucking put up with shit like that. Especially, he obviously didn't know his background. He turns around, you know what I mean? He's like, "Don't fucking touch me like that ever again." Like, you know what I mean? Don't do it ever again. So So anyway, and he starts laughing, and then he pushes him, and then in the end he fucking dropped him.
Okay, what does this have to do with Braun Strowman?
Well, that was Strowman's boy as well. So once he hit him, right, he basically told Troop to go fuck himself, and didn't want to know him after that. Over that.
Oh, okay. So they had a falling out. That's what the
because of that incident. I mean, what was he supposed to do? Be treated like a bitch? Like, you know what I mean? Like, and do nothing? Because that's what's gonna, if he didn't stand up for himself, then you know how wrestlers are, man. They're gonna take advantage of that shit. You know what I'm saying? In the locker room and whatnot. So
absolutely, we're learning here. This is the first time story for me.
It's the first time I've heard the story. Yeah.
Well,
for MSG.
You can check out the interview. He talks about it in the interview that I did with him back in January.
Oh, very, very nice. Very, very cool. But yeah, for someone like Strowman, though, being left off the card and being roasted, toasted, that is about being tested. It sounds like he ultimately failed, which makes it so much easier for them to cut his ass.
Wow. So you had to fucking cry, literally, like a little bitch.
Supposedly there.
Supposedly he went up to Paul Heyman and was crying about the fact that he wasn't on WrestleMania 41, and Heyman's response,
bitch,
Heyman's response to him was, "Well, you're not on WrestleMania because you're not good."
I'm sorry, he's not good. Like, you know what I mean? Really, he was lucky, man, that he even got rehired. At this point, he'll never get hired ever again in WWE. He's already like 40 anyway. What are they going to do with him?
Yeah, but you can't put it all on Strowman because they haven't really given Braun Strowman the best of opportunities to excel in the WWE. I mean, you've got a 6-foot+ monster guy that they could be, utilizing in a different fashion, but instead he's getting mid-card roles, and the guys that he's fighting against are getting more elevated than he is. So, I mean, look at his feud with Bronson Reed, Jacob Fatu. I mean, those guys got elevated, but Braun Strowman, he hasn't really been utilized in situations. I don't know, since he won the Crown Jewel 50-man battle royal.
The biggest Royal Rumble ever.
Yeah, like that's like the last thing he's ever done, right? Or maybe a storyline with Bray Wyatt when he was still alive.
He was Universal Champion at one stage.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, it just doesn't feel... It seems like they lost confidence in him at some point, but since they've rehired him, they really didn't do anything with him. So it was like, what was the point of bringing him back?
Well, I think exactly the point of bringing it back is just what you laid out there. MSG is you go look at the previous booking, and this is maybe a history, not long term because they have had success. You look at the 80s, early 90s, but maybe really started in that attitude, the early 2000s, ruthless aggression, where the company has had trouble booking the big giants, the overly sized heavyweights. And yeah, Jimmy, as you pointed out, he was a Universal Champion, but that was out of necessity. They needed to pivot to someone because of Roman. They needed somebody for that Goldberg match. So you put in a big SOB there. He does get released at that point because I don't think they really knew how to book him, how to handle him as a special attraction. You overexpose the big men like that. Once you take them down, once you cut a tree down, you can't replant that son of a bitch. I think
he was right, and he was damaged already the first time, man. Like when he got released the first time, I thought even from that point he was already damaged.
So at that point, you let him go away. People miss him. Maybe you have a new fan base that comes in that isn't as familiar with him. He is still a big son of a bitch, tremendous visual. So as she's saying, you bring him in, and now you can let this new class just cut through a big SOB like that. So it puts them over. He served his purpose. He put some guys over. They look good in the process. And now he's on to his next project.
So
maybe they wait a couple years and recycle him back.
How long before he signs with AEW? How long before he signs with AEW?
You know what? They didn't sign him the first time, and I was expecting him to go to AEW. So you know how it is in AEW, guys. If you're over 6 foot tall, you're a jobber.
They're gonna have trouble with him. They don't know what to do with a big guy there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you're over 6 feet tall, you're done.
With Blake, I didn't realize the falling out with Blake, so I don't know if he's still on good terms with EC3. If there's still a connection where he could go to the NWA. I don't know what those paydays would be.
What is he gonna do there?
NWA, can you imagine him? He's not that type of guy for that company, if you know what I'm saying. He just doesn't fit that mold.
They're just
Who's he going to battle with? No, but yeah, but
they got plenty of big dudes in the NWA.
Yeah, but do they have big dopey dudes like him?
I don't know.
I mean, come on.
Go put my boy Carson Drake over, man. That's it. That we could use that there. I don't know what his standing. I don't know his standing. It does seem, with his mindset where he like to be, maybe just go off to Hollywood as a stuntman or something like that. Get some bit roles. Maybe professional wrestling no longer has a place for him. By
the way, I'm pretty sure the wrestler that Troop was talking about was his last name was Birchall, not the friggin' pirate. I'm pretty sure Birch, man. About that?
No, if it comes up the conversation later, we'll revisit.
I know it's doing my head in, that's why.
So, was there any other out of all of these, Jimmy? It sounds like some of these maybe have surprised you. I don't know if you still have it.
Sounds like you took it out. You've taken it personal here, Jimmy.
What about Braun? No, he's just
about some of these releases.
Oh no, come on, man! I'm not taking it personal.
Well, Dakota Kai
Danny Burch. That's it. Thank you, Zane. Danny Burch.
What about Dakota Kai? Are you upset about her?
That's what it was.
Shayna Baszler?
Nah, she's garbage, bro. Let's be honest, man. I know. Look, I'm being a prick right now. I'm being a full prick right now. Maybe it's because of the computer turning off on me the way it did. Now I'm pissed, but really, she's useless. I'm surprised she didn't even get released on the first batch. You know what I mean? When Indy Hartwell even got released.
I think I would probably more surprised about Dakota Kai just because they featured her so much in storylines, like over the last 5 months.
Yeah, but she sucks. No personality. Nothing.
I'm just saying. I mean, I'm surprised that they got rid of her because they were, trying to put her in this Intercontinental Women's Championship division. She had some sort of desire to be the champion, and then they kind of just blew that story off without ever paying it off. They didn't really
that's weird. That's true.
That's the only one I'm a little surprised about. Shayna Baszler hasn't been on TV since Ronda Rousey, or she hasn't been relevant since Ronda Rousey, so I could see why that was done.
What a waste of talent she was, though, dude.
And when I say Katana Chance, I'm only saying I was referring to one of the Russo brand shows with Ben Hummy and Stevie Richards, where Ben calls her Katana Nana. Yeah. So we're not going to have any more of Katana Nana.
Also, the one that surprised me, I guess, is Cora Jade, man. I find that kind of strange.
Nobody watches NXT except for Big Ray and Vet.
I mean,
I like NXT, but where's the value in her? The only thing that she has done of significance since joining NXT that popped anyone was those gimmicks. She can't stay healthy. She is terrible. She is terrible in her character work, terrible in her promo. Very cookie cutter, robotic inside of her ring work. Nothing that they can produce 10 times over with anybody else they have in the system.
Wow. Well, fuck it too then. She sucks as well, I guess. I mean, is there anyone that we're gonna miss in this run of releases? Honestly, boys. I mean, is there anyone?
I don't watch NXT, so I don't really care. I'm not trying to dismiss them, but I just don't watch NXT. So those wrestlers haven't really imprinted in my mind to be someone that I care about.
Well, that's all right, Zane, because Zane cares, Matt, as a matter of fact. And like he's about to say to you, I'm the #1 NXT guy, MSG. All right,
well, then you're watching the wrong show. Go watch the Next Level podcast with Big Ray and the Vet. It's on every Wednesday morning right here on Hami Media Group. I'm just fucking with you, Zane.
Awesome show.
They had 100. They had 150, 170 live viewers this last week. It was insane. I don't know if you guys saw that.
Yeah, I was listening anyway.
I was watching from 35 devices.
30. Oh, that was you. Got it. Okay. Well, that makes sense.
I was spiking the numbers.
You were at the racetrack and you just turned on all the computers and just started watching them. Got it.
It had the whole from the Summit Racing Equipment Tower. Just had the whole thing blasted with Next Level. Big, beautiful Ray there and the Vet doing what they do. Hey, man, hate bots, love bots, AI. We can affect those numbers. Gentlemen, speaking of AI, seen this one. This blows me away. This price I'm saying. I thought I had found the stupidest of stupid wrestling fans. Jimmy, if you can hit Tat Guy there. pull this one up here. This was from, I believe, the Square Circle Expo, Great Friends, Nick Gonzalez and their crew this past weekend. This gentleman got a championship belt tattooed on his stomach. I thought that we had found the lowest common denominator of professional wrestling fans here. Jimmy, was it 2 weeks ago we went on the rant talking about the idiots that show up to live events with their replica titles? Now this guy, want to just take with him everywhere.
Wow, you know what I think?
Now when we had news, go ahead, bud.
That's how I feel when it comes to this idiot tattooing the Intercontinental Championship around his waist.
Do you notice he's got a shirt that says the DWO podcast? Do you think that's his podcast or someone else's podcast?
Oh, I'm gonna maybe his.
Well, first of all, how original is that logo? How many freaking shows use that logo pretty much?
Oh, people
Shout
love
outs
it,
to
man.
the... I know, I love the NWO logo too, man. As a matter of fact, the NWO design is my favorite wrestling shirt of all time.
If you flip it upside down, it spells omp. I don't know why. That's what I was saying.
Yeah,
omp.
Hey, we could drop it. We could drop this guy's beer belly too. Okay,
God damn it, you sad fuck.
Yeah, I never understood. We've seen people tattoo belts on themselves before. I don't get it. Like, I don't understand the craziness people have over things like to where they fully engulf themselves as professional wrestling as their identity if they're not in the business. Like, if you're in the business, that's your job. I get it. You're in the bubble, whatever, you're making money. But like just a standard fan who's so obsessed like that they decided to go spend, I'm guessing 7 to 10 hours on getting a tattoo of a
hundreds of dollars.
Yeah, of a championship belt. That's not real. It's a prop in an entertainment show.
It's not even like the top title either. So
no.
Like you're admitting you want to be mid card for life.
I know that's even more weird. Why would he do that?
Why wouldn't you get Brock Lesnar's undisputed championship or something like that?
Yeah. So all right,
get the Divas belt. You might as well.
That would have been better. I thought
get a tramp stamp of the Divas title.
I thought that could have been the worst, but does not take the cake because there's going to be individuals lining up for this one here. Jimmy, let's be technical.
No, I'm not saying if you're in the business you're going to get a tattoo of yourself. I'm just of the belt. I'm just saying.
Hey, remember that idiot a couple of years ago? They got WWE tattooed on him and was on social media, and then he got Future Endeavored like the next week. They cut him after he made the big fuss about getting the logo tattooed on him. Yeah, he was in.
What a banana.
But yeah, we got the breaking news yesterday before the cuts that, yes, you, ladies and gentlemen, you lovers of AEW, you can catch Jimmy T and the vet talking that on the wreckage. Yes, you, Jimmy T's going to be an insider on this, I know. For 100 American dollars, let's be text buddies, Jimmy. Give it to me with Mercedes Moné, her new service.
Oh, money.
Yes. Jimmy, your thought. $100. And you can text chat exclusively, directly to the TBS champion and whatever the 5 other belts she has with Mercedes.
This can't be real, is it?
Nah, is this for real?
They're really pushing it. This now, who you're texting with, the replies, all that. That's gonna come on. That's gonna be AI generated, but this is a real thing.
Do you how many people are going to sign up for this just so that way they can tell her off? That's what I want.
Yeah. And what about all the sex texts that she's probably going to get?
That's what I would say. How many people are going to sign up for this one thinking this is going to be their end, that they're going to just be blowing this thing up with dick pics?
I mean, she's single now, isn't she? Matt, you look dead tired, bro. Straight up.
I'm always fucking tired, dude.
You're going to be all right?
What?
He's a hard-working man.
Yeah.
No, you absolutely. Sure.
I'm also tired. Well, I was tired of Monet too a long time ago. That's why.
That makes 2 of us, maybe 3 of us, Rick.
You know what? This sounds absolutely insane, crazy as hell. But you know, there's going to be people lined up to do this. The idea itself is pretty brilliant to take these sons of bitches' money.
I mean, how sad are people though, man?
There's people that are going to pay for this. Yeah, it's sad.
That's what's sad, dude.
Hey, in the world of professional wrestling, WWE just announces this week their elite packages for SummerSlam starting at $40,000.
Oh,
They
that's
sold
cheap,
out
man.
of the
It's a
elite package.
bargain.
They sold out.
Wow, they sold out.
25,000. It's 25,000 to have lunch with Cena. 8,500 for meet and greets at the Hall of Fame with Triple H. This is a steal
Wow.
at $100.
That's a steal, man.
40
25
grand.
And what does 25,000 get you?
That was lunch with John Cena. Just a luncheon.
That's peanuts, man. 25 grand. Please. Yeah. Come on. 25,000 is absolute peanuts to meet and eat and I guess greet John Cena. I mean, come on.
Like
I'll
you're
pay
gonna
100 G's for that.
25 grand to meet John Cena. Okay, what are you getting out of this? A picture and a photo op, and you get to hang out with him for lunch?
Have lunch.
Like,
yes.
Like
Hey.
look, I get like if you're if you have the money, let's say, and you think, hey, I want to spend $25,000 to get a 1-hour meeting with John Cena, and I'm gonna pick his brain on every aspect of business, entertainment, different things. That might be worth the investment, but like just to say I'm gonna have lunch with John Cena, like what? Like what are you getting out of it? Oh, I get a moment. Oh, that's great. You get to hang out with someone who's gonna probably forget about you the moment he walks out the door. You know?
Well, what I want to know is how long, what's the time frame
You
to
get
hang
10
out with John
you get
Cena?
10 you get a half hour. You get
No,
a lunch.
it's a lunch. It's a lunch, and they had limited tickets. So yeah, like MSG saying, no, if it's like a personalized sit down, you can really pick his brain, have full access. That's great, but they're probably having everyone sit down at their tables. John's up at the head table by himself. Probably comes and takes a couple
100%.
bite of each course. There might even be glass separating these. He might be like in a Pope mobile as he just cruises through this thing on his way out of this thing.
In a Playmobil. That's heat, brother.
He's just sitting up. He's just sitting up in the Pope Mobile, like looking down on everybody as he's
Oh my
eating his
God.
food.
That would be
It's
brilliant.
just
If he
hovering
does
above
that,
all of these guys, they paid their 25 grand. When Wolf asking at $100 one-time fee, it's $100. Sorry, it's $99 for the low price of $99. Not even $100. $99 a month. You can be
Wow.
text buddies.
What would you text her, Jimmy T, if you paid the $99?
Yes. Make it count, you son of a bitch. I might just send you $99 to sign up for this.
oh, well, I mean, you have to be an idiot, right? I mean, I'm going to fucking say stupid shit to her straight up. I mean, if I'm paying to fucking text her, apparently, I'm going to say whatever the fuck I want. I'll even tell her that she sucks too. Like, sucks all sorts of shit, apparently. But anyway, the point is,
Yeah, Jimmy T's gonna let her have it.
she's gonna have it, all right. But what I mean by that, no, I'll take my hat off to her though, man. Like you said before, Rick, she's smart. That's why they call her money, right?
Oh my
Because
god!
she's gonna milk every single marktard out there, especially the AEW marktards are gonna literally live it up, man.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
I'm
gonna be
friends with money.
That's going to be an interesting one to see how many people actually sign up for this thing. I think
She's
it's
my
gonna be gangbusters.
CEO. You know what's even sadder, dude? They're gonna be telling their friends this shit. They'll be like, "Yo, dude, I've got like the CEO's fucking number, man. I'll text her right now. You don't believe me? Watch.
I'm gonna get
text
an
her, she'll
AI
reply."
bot respond right away. It's gonna be pretty sick.
She's not. She ain't responding to no one, man. Like Bruce says in the chat. And thank you for joining us, Bruce. Saying Mercedes getting simp money, literally getting simp money.
Well, like,
Yeah,
okay,
wrong.
well, like, do you actually think she's gonna text back, or is this somebody on her team, or like I said, is this an AI bot?
This is
mean-
this is the same Mercedes Monet that during granted, around the shutdown time, but was doing a meet and greet and had people standing 4 feet away from her for a photo opportunity.
That is sad, dude. But to be fair, though, did you see that same meet and greet?
Well, to be fair,
There
though,
was
some,
some
of those
weirdo.
people don't take showers, so
Dude, not just take showers. Have you seen some of the horror heads that have been going around to these fucking conventions and shit lately? My
Oh my
God.
God! Hold on. Couponer might have an idea here for us. We'll just
Oh.
get to HMG. A few of us to chip in $10 or whatever. We get like we're each shipping $5 if the math works out, just to get one account here to see how.
Yeah, let's get 10 super chats here, and
Yeah.
we'll see what happens if I actually decide to use that money to sign up for this.
As a matter of fact, he
hey,
used the coupon guy. After all, Josh is the man for the coupons.
Jimmy, we're going to actually replace the wreckage with a new show where we're going to get this. We're going to be text buddies with her.
The
Simpage, yes. And you're just going to come on air here and just show the tweets the text messages that we have back and forth.
All right, you know what? I'm going to do it.
Show.
When does this become official? Actually,
I think
you gave me an idea.
I think it's underway. I think that it's underway. So
someone send me the number, and I'll do it live on the wreckage. I'm telling you, I'll do it live on the wreckage. As a matter of fact, I'll do it free of charge for this week. But if you want even more texts, you're going to have to give us some super stickers for me to pay this bill.
There you go. There we go. If we can raise the funds here, it's donations from you to keep PBS going. We're going to become
I scratch your back if you scratch mine, if you feel me. Oh, yeah, 100%, Liz. Vet will absolutely lose his mind.
I just want to find out how long before this number leaks. Like I mean, she just gets random people to call her. You know what I mean?
Oh, my God. Dude, you know what's funny, though? Liz ain't wrong, man. I was thinking that as I was saying that. No shit. As I was saying I'll do it on the wreckage, I'm thinking to myself, oh, the vet will absolutely lose it. You know what I mean? If I did that. And Liz hit the nail on the head, man, and said it because she's right. He will lose it if I was to do that shit.
Gentlemen, some other MSG's looking at up there. Pitch to.
Well, last year it said, I don't know if this is really from her, but it said only my true fans should message me here or text me on this number, and then she gave out a number on June 26, 2024. Now I don't know if this is actually Mercedes Moné. This might just be a fake and. Someone is just trying to give out numbers.
A spoof account or something.
Yeah, exactly.
A spoof. You know what we call spoof here?
What do you call spoof here? Spooge?
Like
the shit that comes out of the kangaroo pouch.
Yeah, pretty much. Except from their male genitalia.
That's disgusting.
Like sprog, spoof. You get it?
That's nasty.
Yeah.
Spoof daddy.
The spoof daddy.
Yes.
Oh no.
Gentlemen, we kind of in the business of talking professional wrestling. Other big news this week, we've got the teasers that were out in the NWO style of the Hollywood Hawkster back with Eazy-E. The bad boys were riding again. They had a new third man that they revealed, Mr. Izzy Martinez. We have learned the new project that is coming at us here. We've got some dates. They're going to launch this thing, the first show coming from up the road from at the great state of the OHIO in Cleveland, Ohio. We have got Real American Freelance Wrestling. MSG, you run all these sports boards. You've done some crazy stuff internationally over at the Ocho, the flagship ESPN. How much amateur wrestling have you had to monitor over as a master controlman?
Yeah, so there's like a lot of college amateur wrestling that we do monitor. I think the season's over right now.
Yeah, they just had their national championships.
Yeah, so like we showcase a lot of that on a lot of the college networks, whether it be the ACC network, the SEC network, or like ESPNU. I'm sure sometimes some of the bigger matches are going to be on ESPN. I think this is a pretty cool idea.
Really?
Yeah, I think it gives athletes an opportunity to continue their freestyle wrestling career outside of college without having to be forced into let's say they don't want to go the mixed martial arts route like UFC, or they don't want to go the route of WWE. They can continue their side hustle or their side gig as an amateur professional wrestler.
That's a side hustle.
I think that right now there is a increase in demand for sports outside of college. Like for instance, Athletes Unlimited, they're doing a softball thing, like professional women's softball. So I think there is a desire in certain markets, certain fan groups that want to see more of these athletes continue on their journey. So do I think that the promo setting this up was necessary. No, it was very, very cheesy. And it didn't make sense, especially if you're going to be talking about real amateur wrestling. Why are we mixing in, WWE style promos from from 25 years ago? You know what I mean?
You know what, brother? I'm glad you're the happy mistake that you got to join us here, because that is a completely different perspective than I've heard. Completely different than I personally hold. I was ready.
That actually is.
I was personally ready to crap all over this thing, but you've kind of made me change my thought process here.
Wow.
Yeah. Yes.
That deserves a round of applause.
The Joe Henry clap. You give me a lot to think about now about the direction here, but I think a few things that you really hit on is that from the television perspective, there is a need, there is a market for that. A lot of hours to fill, a lot of platforms that need programming. An opportunity for these athletes to continue their career. Like you said, there is a little bit with the Olympics, but that's few and far between. They can make a little money with that. Do they not want to go to MMA? Do they not want to go to the Carney World of Professional Wrestling? This gives them a chance. All tremendous points. I think your biggest one, though, why Carney this thing up by immediately going over the top and associating it with professional wrestling?
God. You know what's even worse about it? Why did they act like it was going to be some big megastar, man?
Well, because you always hype people up. Were they supposed to? Hey, we got some loser you never heard of. We're going to make that announcement for you.
Well, no, but to Jimmy's point, why didn't they grab a named guy, like somebody who has a bigger appeal, who's created brand name recognition to be this third guy? Like, what's that dude that came to the WWE and he was Gabe or something like that?
Well, Hogan's crediting his match for the national championship that he just recently lost,
right,
with being the inspiration. But that guy wasn't a draw in pro wrestling.
No, but I mean, he seems to be a draw in amateur wrestling, right? So I mean,
supposedly he is going to be involved.
What else is he doing? He has to be involved.
Right, you're talking about the gold medalist that was in WWE now, right?
Yeah, Gabe Stevenson.
Yeah. Stevenson, yeah.
Gabe Stevenson. Yeah, there you go, that guy. So I mean, he'll be the face of the company. Why didn't they grab that guy? This Izzy guy, I have no idea who that guy is. So like, what's the excitement over it? I guess.
Well, and even Ben reached out. He was trying to get word from Hartnett, who might have a little more insight, because supposedly
what's happened to Hartnett, man? It's been a while since I've seen him.
He's underground. He's got a lot going on that we cannot divulge here on air. Big badass things happen for that man. He is making a scene in a lot of places.
Didn't Hartnett recently tweet out or put out somebody's phone number he didn't like or something like that? Or
really?
Or is that just a private DM I got about something else?
No,
I think I know what you're talking about, MSG.
Who knows?
We won't talk about it, though. Let's not talk about that.
Doesn't care, man. He'll tell people that it's going to be on site. He doesn't give a shit, man.
Yeah, the last time I saw him, I was doing a show with him like over a year ago. He was on the show. I think you were on too, Rick, possibly.
Was it the WrestleMania review when he said he was going to beat up Triple H on site?
Yeah, I was on for that one too.
Oh yeah, you were too. I don't know what show that was.
Bet was there. We had a whole bunch.
It was a whole bunch of us.
We were doing a Monday locker room post WrestleMania.
Oh, that's it. It was you that was hosting it.
And Hartnett just went for like 15 minutes about on site how he would just destroy Triple H. It was about
that was awesome.
How WWE no-sold the Stevie situation when he was
right
in just in need of just some good energy, some good spirits, but they completely no-sold him on it.
I remember that now.
On site, he was going to drop Triple H, man. He was hot. But hey,
that was a good episode.
I got a feeling they might have gone to some other individuals and got turned down.
Really?
And I don't want to be working with Hulk Hogan, especially right now. And a lot of these guys, if you hang out with some, guys that are into the amateur wrestling. I mean, I grew up with a bunch of them, man, some badass dudes, went on the collegiate. They were very prideful in what that sport represents, what it means to them. And you don't make a mockery of it. And they don't want to be associated with professional wrestling. So it might have been a lot of people didn't want to just be a part of the venture.
Can I ask? Sorry, guys.
Because those guys are carnying it up, like you said. So, but go ahead, Jimmy.
But how much money do they possibly make amateur wrestlers. Like, honestly, you couldn't do that for a living, right? There's no way.
Well, that's what they're trying to establish, right? I mean, because amateur wrestling or collegiate wrestling is so popular, I guess the idea would be, let's see if we can monetize this by turning it into a professional league after these kids leave college.
Yeah, but the thing is, it seems to be only college popular. You know what I mean? It doesn't go beyond that. If you know what I'm saying.
It doesn't exist right now.
It doesn't exist.
Right?
Jimmy.
Exactly. You're right. Yeah.
You have Olympic. And once you leave college, there was the option for Olympic wrestling, where you can make a little through sponsors, things like that, or cost of living things. Then, if you are good enough, obviously, it propels you to hire sponsors, things of that nature, coaching positions. But as she said, you usually take those and cross over into an MMA if you want to keep pursuing athletics or professional wrestling,
for sure.
or you use whatever your education was, and
right.
Go into that profession. This way here, now they do have it set up. I was looking into how this thing was going to be structured. With the advancements, the changes in collegiate sports, it will not, if they go to work for this new promotion, the company, the Real American Freestyle Wrestling, it's not going to hurt their eligibility in college. And they do make some money, and this might help with their exposure, with their ability to make money in the NIL, their name and likeness that we have available in college sports here in the States now.
Interesting.
So we'll see from there.
Well, look at college basketball's making money now, right? So
which you got college basketball. The big money is in college football. That's the big paydays. The top guy in college basketball, as we're getting ready for their draft, is Flag from Duke, the young kid. He gets $4 million a year from his
NIL deal. Yeah.
Wow,
dude,
and that's only started last season or this season, right?
He's gonna get over double, triple, quadruple that when he signs his name to his NBA contract going number one.
Oh, fuck yeah, absolutely. No, 100%. But it's crazy that and you know what? About time. I think college athletes should have been paid a long time ago, man.
A whole other conversation that I disagree with you. It's ruining
really
the whole atmosphere there. But as MSG talked about, it's which I find interesting. I love, I'm going to maybe look at this a little bit more. But I was curious about the need, the want for amateur wrestling on a larger scale post college, and the easiest comparison there is Olympics, and wrestling in the Olympics isn't amongst the most popular sports watched there, which makes me question what is the demand. And when you look at the number one ratings for the Olympics, and they're not regular sports, you have gymnastics, you have track and field, you have swimming, basketball is up there, but that is
basketball's definitely
a
up
huge one. Even weightlifting pulled in higher ratings than the wrestling in the Olympics.
Is it maybe because there's not enough of a what's the word for it? Variety in amateur wrestling. It's kind of the same old countries always sort of battling in amateur wrestling. You know what I mean? You got Iran, the US, of course.
Could be.
A lot of those Eastern countries, you know what I mean? Like Russians and shit. And there's not enough diversity in it.
It's the easiest thing to understand. Like, you have to know what the hell's going on.
For this to be successful, they're going to need to build stars, like any sport.
Yeah, it's not going to work, man. They need to go through, if they want to be able to talk. I don't know.
I mean, we built Caitlin Clark over the last couple of years, and the WNBA is now starting to take off. So I think it is possible to build new stars. The
WNBA is kind of always been kind of pretty big since its inception. When I say big, not big.
No, it hasn't been. Big. WNBA has been the dunked on brand for like the last 10
but
15
big enough
years.
that it's got worldwide exposure, though. The
WNBA wishes it was a redheaded stepchild.
Yeah, no, I totally get where you're coming from, and that's true. But I'm just saying, in terms of eyeballs, it does get eyeballs.
I'm telling you, in terms of eyeballs, I didn't watch one WNBA game until last year. Okay,
neither did I. But
exactly.
But
so you're proving my point. Nobody was watching.
But I still know what's going on roughly because you see it. It's kind of there.
Where?
But for me, women's.
Right.
Well,
maybe we just told you people in Australia it's cool, so that someone in the world.
No, you're not. He's lying. Jimmy T watches.
I'm not lying.
He watches NBL. He doesn't watch WNBA. We watch the NBL.
I don't like the NBL personally.
The fucking Tasmanian Devils versus the fucking whatever, the 49ers, and I don't know.
49. No, the 36ers.
36ers,
Matt, for fuck's sake.
whatever. I don't fucking know.
Come on, bro. You knew this. You told me.
Yeah, I
this.
barely paid attention and I smoked myself.
Fuck the 36ers anyway. Just quietly.
Oh,
But it's a stupid name. Absolute retarded name. There was something I was meant to say, but in women's sports, I think tennis is the most respected for women's sports and the biggest, in my opinion.
That's probably fair. That's probably a fair statement.
It's the only one that gets that
the most
respect.
coverage. It's the gets the most coverage.
And it's kind of looked at almost evenly with the male end. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, like I said, they're going to need to build stars. And hopefully, you got Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff who know how to build stars, supposedly.
Stars, brother.
So, I mean, if they can do that, if they can get buzz around these amateur wrestlers, maybe a sports broadcasting company like a Fox Sports, ESPN, or even regional sports networks will pick NBC Sports will be interested in pick it up.
Oh, for sure. And just
and
quietly,
Eric Bischoff does have ties to, the entertainment industry as far as having contacts. So I wouldn't put it past them to try and get this thing on television.
I think, like I said, we've got a date for filming, so there is some kind of distribution in place. As you said, I mean, Bischoff's wheeling and dealing in Hollywood regularly. He's got contacts, so he's put.
Oh, no, he does.
They've got
Jason Harvey's a good example. For example,
they've got a couple big investors backing this thing. They got this working relationship now with Izzy. We're not really familiar with him, but maybe those inside the bubble. He's a bigger deal.
Wrestling. Easy wrestling.
We will see. MSG, brother, I know you've been relaxing this morning. Any good eats? A little hashtag RBV eats out topic before we get into the blue brand review, man. Anything good up in your neck of woods this weekend?
I don't know. I have to work.
Yeah, work. Man. You doing anything for Cinco de Mayo? Will they have anything fun at work for you?
No.
Ah, damn it. Well, since you've been on the East Coast, have you had Waffle House yet?
I had Waffle House in Arizona.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. People move out there to retire. What's all right? Well, who just tried Waffle House for the first time? One and only Julia. Let's throw up her delicious plate there, Jimmy.
Well, before I do that, I just want to give a shout out to Scotty the Body Woodford for the $1.99 super chat.
Yeah,
he gets one of these ones.
$98 away from Mercedes Moné.
Yeah. We're getting closer, folks. We're getting closer. But thank you, Scott, man. We all appreciate that. But you said Julia, right?
Yep.
Here she is eating at Waffle House.
Eating out, baby.
Yeah.
This actually inspired me. I saw her plate there. I went to Waffle House yesterday for dinner. Of
course you did.
Yeah, I did. And I went away from my go-to, and I got the Julia plate special. She has got the chopped steak, scrambled cheesy eggs with the waffles and the toast. I did my hash browns a little different. I got mine smothered, covered, chunked, which means they are covered in cheese. They got cubed ham and onions mixed in there. But quite delicious dish there. The Julia feature. So MSG, well, what's your Waffle House go-to, brother?
I don't know. Eggs, toast.
Eggs? Come on. Waffles.
Hash browns. Pancakes. Waffles, food.
Definitely pancakes. Hell yeah.
Bacon.
Jimmy, what's
you asked me what I've eaten. I recently did just have some what was it, like some Cajun rice and sausage meal. That was pretty good.
Spicy.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I had that going on. I've got some stuff to make like garlic shrimp pasta right now, so I was probably gonna make that this weekend.
Damn.
Things like that.
I was saying, you need the extra crispy bacon. I always freak them out at Waffle House. Really, anywhere I go to get bacon, because I ask for it limp. I don't like mine crispy. I like it barely cooked.
You like it limp?
I like my bacon limp.
You're disgusting.
I like a limp. I like slices of limp hog, baby.
Not your sausage limp?
Yes. Limp sausage. It always freaks them out when I ask for it. Although she is very beautiful, I guess. Vet especially loved her. Just look, it's the it factor there. We can pull Julia down. But I tried that.
Before we pull her down, I just want to know, is that mushroom on her toast right there? Or is that an omelet, whatever it is there underneath? But is that mushroom?
Eggs. That's chopped steak. Like for a cheesesteak.
Oh, okay. Shit. Now I see it, but it looks a bit. I don't know, man.
It doesn't look good.
It doesn't look
Delicious.
good, man. I'm
It
sorry.
was delicious. I loved it. I might go back and get some more.
The picture doesn't do it.
And
So-
Zane hit the nail on the
Yeah,
head.
Zane. It was closely related to more like jambalaya. It was pretty good. Yeah,
Oh, he says that. Where did he say that?
in the comments.
Oh,
he
yeah, I
said-
see that.
he
I
said
see it.
jambalaya MSG. Yeah, it was probably closer to jambalaya. It was pretty good.
Jambalaya.
There's a lot of Jamaican food up here that I haven't gone out and tried yet that I probably should, just because Jamaican cuisine is very popular here in the Northeast.
Papa
You
Glad.
know, when I think of Jamaicans, I think of Connecticut.
Well, not just Connecticut. I meant like Connecticut, New York.
Jamaica Queens, right? Come on.
A lot of people from New York and Connecticut, move back and forth and stuff like that. So, but there's
People
like,
consider Connecticut like the rich part of New York, pretty much.
says the guy who's never been to Connecticut.
I know. I've never been, but that's what
Then
people
shut
have told
the
me.
fuck up. You don't know what you're talking about.
This guy, God damn, just hit me hard, bro. Allegedly. So please tell me, isn't it supposed to be like a rich sort of?
I
Like,
mean, it's
city?
it's just like depends on where you live. It's like any place, right? I mean, you're gonna have your areas with higher income with big houses, or you're gonna live in downtown Hartford to save money, like I do. Like I'm not trying to pay $1,500 to $2,000 a month for a 1-bedroom apartment. I'm just like, no, I'll get a studio here in downtown Hartford, and I'll deal with the cops and the ambulance people driving by.
Well, thank you, Liz. Just quietly. Because she says, I do know someone who lived in a castle in Connecticut that was built by the Masons.
There are a lot of Freemasons here. That is true. I have seen a considerable amount of Freemasons in Connecticut.
Really? They just all walk around.
No,
with their
I just
hands
like
in
I
there.
know them. Like I've worked with like somebody, and then we've got Bobo. Who I got to meet Bobo. He lives here in the area in Connecticut. So like
Shout out to Bobo.
we've gotten to hang out, and he's a Freemason himself. So like I've
Really?
met a considerable amount of Freemasons here. Yeah.
I've got a couple of friends that are also Freemasons too, but they don't really talk about it, man.
They're not
no.
allowed. They have to kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently.
But I've asked Baba over and over, "Are you part of the Illuminati?" And he won't give me the answer. So I mean, there you go.
Yeah,
God
man.
damn it, Bobo. I mean, why? Why do people want to? Some people, the way to describe it, man. I know we're supposed to be talking about wrestling, but for fuck's sake, we're talking about everything. But like it's supposed to be like on a journey. You go on this journey per se. Whatever it is, it better be good. That's all I'm saying.
Realistically, it's just it's not like, I wouldn't say a religion, but it's a community for guys to get together and build a community, and through that community they help each other out in different ways.
I'm sure they
right?
do.
Take baths together.
Sure. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if they take baths together. I just meant like it's like you have
Go
you build-
skiing together.
You build
Get
those
it?
you build those connections, right, with people who work in different industries and stuff like that. So I mean, I could see the appeal if you were trying to advance your career and your life, why you might join. There's dues though, like that's why I'm saying it's not a religion, because you do have to pay into it. There are your dues and stuff
Oh, do
like
you?
that. Yeah, they have like yearly dues and stuff. It's not that much though, but they do have their dues that they have to pay, and that goes towards keeping up the buildings and all the events and stuff like that. And then I guess they switch off every year, like who runs it and stuff like that, depending on their location and whatnot. So shout out to Bobo, who gave me when we drove up to Rome, New York to see Ben Hami, and he gave me a little bit of crash course on it. So
Very, very cool.
Interesting. Yeah, shout out to Bobo. Go check
What's
out
the-
his show.
what's the
Alright.
next wrestling story here, guys?
Well, I was going to say MSG. We're going to transition over to SmackDown. If you want to stick around with this, or if you wanted to get on with your day there. Or...
Yeah, load it up. Let's go SmackDown.
All right, let's
I
jump,
watched clips.
Yeah, Matt's gonna smack
We
it
got
down.
enough.
It.
We got some clips here, so we'll get going here for our Blue Brand review portion of the show. Of course, this will be Friday, May 2nd, coming from Des Moines, Iowa. We're a few weeks
Des
away here
Moines.
from WWE Backlash, the next major PLE. Actually, kind of cool. I guess part of the company's plans moving forward to bring their major events together. So we had SmackDown last night. And they got UFC tonight there in Des Moines, Iowa.
Yeah, they've been doing that actually lately. WWE and UFC sort of going back to back in the same cities and buildings lately for shows.
Yeah, part of the new plan, the objective, I guess the rally the communities to bring the one company
What the
together. We got
hell
the
was
big
this?
major show coming up.
What the hell was this episode
was
of
that?
SmackDown?
Did you just read a rundown?
No, I watched highlights
Oh,
yesterday on different
okay.
matches and stuff like that. But I'm just talking like the main event of this show was a tag team match, right?
Point
Yeah,
Iowa,
women's.
Matt. That's all you need to know, bro.
I think the show itself, you're coming out of 2 weeks from WrestleMania. So last week you had that WrestleMania Fallout. They tried to load that show up. You had 2 big title matches. You had the TLC match. You had the switch in the Women's United States Championship. So I think this is them kind of just getting back centered, back to
Yeah.
that weekly flow that
I was
we're going to
expecting
get.
this. Yeah, absolutely.
So you're expecting just that? This is what you're expecting, or were you expecting to keep up the high tempo that we saw last week?
Oh no, I was expecting a lull period right now, like for WWE. This always happens, like you just said, Rick, right after WrestleMania. So you know what I mean? There's gonna be that time where they're gonna take it easy, and then they'll start sort of heading back to the races around June-ish. You know what I mean? They'll start like getting better per se. I think right now we're gonna get a lot of throwaways.
Yeah, we didn't have a whole lot of advertised coming into the show. We knew we had Randy Orton was going to address the audience, and then really the match that we had advertised was Miz versus Aleister Black. Everything else was kind of up in the air. Direction we knew who was going to be making some appearances, but not a whole lot just actually advertised for this thing. So of course we'll jump right into this thing, run through this thing. It's your SmackDown review here on the SmackDown Attack. We open things up. Yeah, LA Knight. He's out there, the former U.S. champ. He wants his championship back. He's hungry to get back into that mix, trying to declare himself. He wants his rematch, a number one contender. He's interrupted by Damian Priest. We got 2 WrestleMania losers, fine competitors coming up short there. They want to get back up to the top, championship contenders. Last week we saw Drew McIntyre throw his name into that, but we get an opening match here. Damian Priest, LA Knight, 2 of the big dogs. Knight over, as always, popular with the crowd. Jimmy, what you think of the match itself before we get to the shenanigans and the advancement of the storyline here?
I think it's getting overbooked, to be honest, Rick. This whole
in the sense the U.S. title picture. So the
yes, do we need to? There's a whole bunch of guys that they don't even know what to do with right now.
It's kind of the same old that we had in the WrestleMania build, because remember we had thought that it was going to be kind of the cluster, and then they
still don't know what to do. So let's just throw them all together right now while we figure out what to do with these guys moving forward. That's what I think this shit all is. Jacob Fatu will still retain anyway, so this match is nothing. It's going to mean nothing. All these matches really are going to mean nothing. It's pretty obvious who's all the winners are going to be with Backlash, in my opinion. But you know what? Yeah, like Zane said, they knew not to fire them. That's true too, Zane, as a matter of fact. But like the match, it was fine, but it was a no contest in the end. And then we got the shenanigans, like as per usual, just to set up all these bullshit.
Yeah, we had the back and forth here between Knight and Priest. They hit their big spots, some big kickouts here. But again, we do have the shenanigans. The match gets thrown out when you have the disruption here on behalf of the Bloodline 2.0. Solo Sakai making his appearance. The baby faces, if you will, the 2 that were involved in the match, turn the tables. They're going to take it to him. Then we get the champ is here, out for a save, if you will, for Solo. Is Jacob Fatu interjects himself into the situation. He's kicking ass. I'll ask MSG this first. We're getting a lot of talk. The fans are chattering. WWE is going to turn him baby. Is that the right move for Fatu? How should they handle it? He's getting the reaction. People are excited for him. He's causing the pops. My concern would be don't mess with the ingredients with that character so much right now.
Well, I mean, it's only natural that WWE's they're going to do it. I mean, that's kind of like their formula, right? They have a
It's like,
heel.
do it, dude. Do it.
Best way to become a baby is to be a heel. Be a good heel.
Yeah, you're gonna get over being the heel, which is he is doing
Unfortunately.
right now, and then eventually they'll have him turn on Solo Sikoa, and we'll have a Solo Sikoa versus Jacob Fatu feud. That'll probably be your SummerSlam match for the title, because I don't think they're gonna take the title off Jacob Fatu for a couple different months. My concern is, where does this leave the rest of all these mid-carders? You know, like Damian Priest, LA Knight. You know, what are they going to do? Where's Drew McIntyre and all of this? So I'm over Solo Sikoa. Like, I've been
Really?
over him for like a year. Yeah, the guy has no charisma. Like when he's talking.
I think MSG's right. They tried to give him a cool look. They gave him that push to kind of keep the bloodline, keep that ship steady as they were going. But he's just kind of
Bland.
Yeah, he just kind of sucks the energy out of the program.
You assholes. Absolute assholes, man. It sucks the energy.
So are we being? Is that overly harsh? I mean, is that an unfair assessment? Or
No, I think we've been pricks the whole show, to be honest.
Defend him here. Defend you.
Okay, okay, when you guys break it down like that, for real, I hate to say it, and I like Solo, but you ain't wrong. Like, I see exactly where you're coming from. Maybe for me, though, maybe because, you know, he's Uso's brother and shit, I tolerate him. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
I know, but not everyone could be a main eventer. I think Liz is saying he's great as that bodyguard. He's a great
for sure
supporting character, but not going to be the guy that you're going to give the ball to lead the offense down the field.
He's better when he talks
I'm
less,
not saying
man.
get rid of the guy future endeavoring, but he's got to be a role player, not a featured player.
Well, Liz says he has the charisma of a wet napkin.
I agree with that, Liz.
Damn. Wet napkins are bad, too. Oof. That's a bad feeling, actually. Why wet napkin, Liz? God damn.
You've never had a wet napkin on your face, Jimmy?
Well, yeah, I'm sure I have.
You ever had a wet feminine napkin on your face there, Jimmy?
What about wet wipes? Do they forget?
Yeah.
Do they
wet wipes are a handy tool. Yeah, but you know, to go back to speak to with Jacob Fatu.
You know, you can't take a shower in space, so they have to use wet wipes.
Just wipe it on down, baby.
What about fucking dude wipes?
Dude wipes? Hey, that's just a
that's horrible.
an overly marketed.
That's just like Coke Zero. You know what I mean? They're just advertising to different people, but it's the same thing. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
Anyway,
go ahead.
I'll say with Fatu, I just don't want them to go the typical baby face route where he's going to start pandering, waiting for pops. Keep him the same. Keep the character the same, but just let the reactions happen however they will. As long as they're making noise, that's good. Don't tinker with the character itself. Keep him as that badass.
I agree with that, actually, Rick. Don't change him at all. The thing is, man, it doesn't matter.
Well, they don't have to do anything to his character. I'm just saying he's going to eventually flip on Solo because that's just how wrestling works. Right?
It's
wrestling 101.
Yeah, it's a natural progression. So
yeah, but
see, kind of interesting to see where all the rest of that part of the bloodline where their alliances fall.
But let's be real, boys. They've ruined it. The bloodline. They should just drop this shit now, man. It's just it's done. They're literally trying to squeeze every little bit of liquid out of that bloodline bottle, dudes. You know what I mean? Like, it's done. Roman doesn't care anymore. The Rock is lost. Who the fuck knows what he's doing? He doesn't even know what he's doing anymore. We just end it. Let them just all be individuals and whatever.
A program between Fatu and Solo would kind of put that their involvement and put that to rest. But as she said, you've got all these other mid-card players that are looking for something to do. Where are they going to fit? We do know now that Backlash St. Louis a few weeks from now, we are going to have a fatal four-way for the United States Championship.
Again?
They have announced this. Another fatal four-way. It has been announced.
It's overbooked.
Jacob Fatu, the champion, defends against LA Knight, Damian Priest, and Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, and that's only because they don't know what to do with half these guys. Like, already, like, they don't know where. You know what? Drew should have stayed on. He was better off on Raw.
Yeah, it's next Saturday. Yeah. It's a week
next 8 days, 6 days from now.
From today. Yeah.
But they should. I think Drew should have stayed on Raw. He just seemed better there. You know what I mean? It was a better fit. And and Priest is lost on SmackDown. They should have never taken him out of Judgment Day. He should have just stayed with Judgment Day. At least that he had something to do every week. You know what I mean? Now I feel like they're going to sour on him pretty soon. Keep in mind, he's getting to his mid-40s. You know what I mean? What more can WWE really do with him moving forward?
We'll find out. We'll find out in this Fatal 4-Way what they got planned. Hopefully we'll get a little more clearer picture of the mid-card here on SmackDown.
I will say I did like the interaction between LA Knight and Priest. I thought they cut a decent promo back and forth with each other, which led to their match, which I'm sure you'll talk about here. But I did like the promo those two had back and forth.
Yeah, but it was a bit of I know you are, but what am I type of shit? You know what I mean?
I mean, but it was better than anything else in the show besides Randy.
But that's
Orton.
true.
Yeah,
that's true.
Our next thing up here, we get tag team action. A new tag team on the SmackDown scene making their rise. MSG, your thought? He said you don't watch NXT. The former champs they're taking on Pretty Deadly. Just first of all, MSG, what are your thoughts on Fraxiom?
This match is stupid. This match, who cares? I don't care.
Can I say one thing about Fraxiom? Boy, did they look tiny.
Did they give me vignettes? Did they give me any vignettes to explain who these characters were? Did they build them up Did they build up the debut of who these are? I shouldn't have to watch NXT, Jimmy. If you're introducing new fucking characters on television, tell me who the fucking characters are. Period.
They expect you to watch NXT.
I don't give a shit. I can't watch NXT, man. That's fucking another 2 hours of 1 hour of television I gotta fucking put down. So now I gotta watch 7 hours of WWE every week just so I can keep up? No. Give me a fucking vignette package. Explain it. Did the debut? What's their background? What's their story? They gave me nothing. Right. It's a cold fucking debut. I don't care.
Right. He's right. He's actually right. I mean, they didn't explain shit, really. They haven't. I mean, did you know that the guy with the mask, he's from Madrid, Spain? Did you know that?
No, they didn't explain anything.
He doesn't even know who the hell he is. How's he going to know where he hails from?
I know, that's my point. They're not even saying that. But you know what's even worse? How tiny did they look next to Pretty Deadly when they were like interacting with each other before their match?
This was a throwaway match. No one, I mean,
not just that. Frazer totally fucked up.
They're trying to bring in just is MSG saying, for weeks, they should be letting us know who these guys are. You cannot just rely on that they follow your minor leagues really anymore. Baseball. I don't watch AA baseball to figure out who's going to be the future of the Cincinnati Reds or something like that. Even don't even hope that I watched last week when they showed up. I need to see for a month. Show me vignettes to learn about these guys, to get excited about. Just don't go out there, work other mid-carders and move sets to get me excited about them. It is, you said, Jimmy, too. They were dwarfed by Pretty Deadly.
They're all tiny, bro. I was shocked, man, because Pretty Deadly are not that big, but they look huge.
They look like giants here.
They look like fucking giants. How tall is Fraxiom for real, man? Both Frazer and A-Kid, because I still look at him as A-Kid, because that's who it is under the mask, really. But anyway, the point is, are they like 4'5"?
I don't know, but there was a huge difference here. Is MSG saying kind of a throwaway? The only other thing I really want to talk about is Jimmy, because I know you followed Pretty Deadly for a while. They frustrate you at times. You see some potential in them. Vet lays it out. The positives with them quite often. As you guys,
I'm not a big fan of Billy and Chuck 2.0.
I don't see it either. MSG at all.
I'm not a big fan of Pretty Deadly. I've soured on them, by the way.
Well, maybe this is even further in that, Jimmy. Now we just immediately had them flip-flop back to being straight heels, where for that WrestleMania run, they were on the baby side of the fence for no apparent reason.
Yeah, because they were wrestling in Europe, that's why.
DIY.
When they were in England, that's when they were wrestling even as baby faces too. And then the second they came back to the States, they're back to being heels.
Okay.
You know what I mean? That's what they've been doing.
Maybe they were just trying to play towards the tour over there.
Seriously, they're another two guys, and I'm sorry, Chris Milland, if you're listening, bro, because he's the biggest fan of them. They're close to getting released too, man. I'm telling you, like, if they don't start improving and whatnot by, say, next year, I think they'll be gone. But did you notice what Frazer did? Frazer cannot execute that damn 450 splash properly. He just can't do it properly. If you notice, he always ends up on a bit of an angle where his arms end up hitting the opponent's faces every time like real close. And he did that to the blonde friggin' pretty deadly guy, right? Right on his face. And I don't know if you noticed, but he busted open. He shattered his face, dudes. Nose bleeding, mouth bleeding from the 450 splash.
Very, very, ugly landing there.
Long story short.
And even when he did it again long story, even when he did it again, he hit him in the face again and he apologized. You could see him going, oh, sorry, as he sort of went down, but didn't bust his face like he did with the other one.
Well, Fraxiom has arrived on the main roster. We're gonna see their rise towards the top of the division. It'll be a matter of time before they get their opportunity against the champs and the other top contenders. So we'll have to keep our eye out on them there.
This is the new minis division, by the way, the tag team division. Sorry, I was just going to say that No, I just wanted to say the WWE tag division right now is quickly becoming the minis division.
It's been that way.
I know, and it's getting worse by bringing in Fraxiom.
If you add up their heights and add up their weights, you get one average size wrestler. So
wow,
we're good to go there.
I don't even know who the
Speaking
SmackDown who are the SmackDown tag team champions?
Street Profits.
That's right.
Street Profits.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I don't know. I have no idea how, but we'll move on from the tag division. But tag divisions in WWE are absolutely, especially on the red and blue, are absolutely abysmal. Nothing has changed there from the old regime when everyone thought there'd be a new focus and a new energy for the tag division. Complete miss so far on it. In action in the ring as advertised. They built this thing up last week, started the little program to the short-term program to set up this match here. They're returning Aleister Black. He is taking on The Miz. Mrs. Mello, whatever their thing is, Can't Miz. So Carmelo
and Dr. Dre around his neck.
That was the only thing that popped me. I like that. I need that at shopwwe.com. I need my Andre the Giant bling, Andre head chain. I need that. That was the
Dre now, Rick. It's Dre.
Dre. Dre has a posse. I got to find that t-shirt. I used to have one. The Andre the Giant has a posse t-shirt. Love that. But anyway, Aleister Black back in action for WWE. No surprise here that he goes over The Miz.
The crowd went mid, Rick. The crowd went mid. Yes. No one gave a shit about either, unfortunately for Aleister Black or The Miz. And to be fair, why did this match go for 10 minutes?
They had to fill time. It's a 3-hour show.
It's a 3-hour program, and then
so you're gonna
isn't that the rumor,
Aleister
Jimmy?
Black?
June, we're getting going back to 2 hours.
Well, apparently, yeah. Allegedly, please give the allegedly. Sample.
I agree. I agree with Gress here. You can tell they don't have a plan for Aleister Black. They
fucking don't. I agree as well. They don't, man. So let's give him 10 minutes on your first match back since 2020. You're supposed to make this guy beat some badass, but it took him 10 minutes to beat The Miz. I mean, that's not a good start for me.
Individual.
That's true, but who is he in 2025 though, Rick?
Well, and I think, and I agree with you here. This is more of an enhancement. You're introducing Aleister.
I know he's one of your boys, and I get that, man. I respect The Miz. But come on.
They extend the match here a little bit by Carmelo saving The Miz in a few spots, but this isn't about The Miz. This is more about the focus, the return of Aleister Black, and you guys are absolutely correct. I don't know if it's that they don't have a plan for him, or is it more so that they do not understand what the hell this character should be? What is so dark, mystical, eerie, scary, whatever they're shooting for about this guy?
Probably a bit of both, to be honest, Rick. They clearly don't know what to do with squeaky guys.
Right.
They just don't.
The Undertaker
they don't know.
fine for 4
I was going to say that. Yeah, but that was Vince. He seems to, I don't know. Taker's different because he oozes charisma and personality. Do you know what I mean? Compared to Aleister Black needs to do more.
Now we have a guy that just because he has a certain look that we're supposed to do, does he understand what this character is? Or do we go back to his Twitch channel where him and his wife, Zelina Vega, are playing with their cats?
See what I mean, man? Stay off the internet, wrestlers, for crying out loud. Like, you can be on the internet, but stop being personal, man. Like, too personal.
So yeah, so we kind of have again here another throwaway match, reintroduction instead of a call up establishing here where we probably could have used some vignettes, some interviews, some unique backstage.
Well, didn't they give him a vignette?
Didn't
they give him a vignette? I saw
last week he just interrupted a Miz TV where they just had some crappy lights and he just shows up out of nowhere. You know, there was no.
Yeah, they didn't even give a vignette. They didn't show no vignette.
Okay.
Yeah. It was just an interruption of Miz TV.
Yeah. They were giving vignettes and hints on the build-up, right, to him debuting, but they were like 10-second fucking vignettes, man. You don't even see him.
Yeah, well, Aleister Black can join the other mid-card wrestlers on WWE SmackDown.
Oh, shit. MSG went bang.
I'm just saying, like,
well, Aleister, that's what it is. They're just all kind of just there.
When you call yourself Aleister, is that really a star name, boys? Aleister. Seriously.
By the way, what the hell? Where's Cody?
Cody.
He's on hiatus. He's on hiatus. He does need a break. We can't miss him if he's not gone. So we do have the break. What does kind of suck with that is when you did have Cody, as the chat is talking about, is without Cena there full time, we don't have that top prize. So the mid card's going to become all more important about who's chasing that U.S. championship on the male side to kind of carry the load for that prize piece. Unless you can start getting the tag division going, you start focusing more on the women. But it looks like they got the stronger hand dealt to the Raw brand when it comes to the women.
Big time.
But let's talk about the women then. Let's talk about the mid card women. The United States champion, newly crowned last week, shocked the world. Zelina Vega. I think the bigger story here, thank God, thank the wrestling gods. We were all panicking last week thinking that Chelsea Green was going on hiatus. I popped here. This was my moment of mourning. She is back. She is back. And I loved the act here. She is in mourning. I love that she is, instead of getting a rematch, she wants a recount. This is the worst thing that's ever happened to America, that we have lost her, our Canadian champion, United States champion. We've lost her. Thankfully, she's back. I'm already loving what she's doing here. But we get the newly crowned champion, Zelina Vega, which didn't cause a stir. Nobody seems excited about. But she's going to be taking on Piper Niven. And if Piper can pick up a big win here, she's going to be in line for a championship opportunity. The match itself, again, a case of a 3-hour show going too long. You don't want these guys going through multiple commercial breaks. Far too much offense here for Zelina Vega. Should have been out here, the spunky champ, using her speed, her athleticism early. The power sets in. You have Piper dominating, but then the heels get overconfident. There's a backfire from the villains here. A cheat allows Vega to pick up the win and run. That's not the case. We get a 50-50 run on too long to eventually get to the heels backfiring to give the champ an opportunity for a roll-up win. Jimmy, your thoughts on Zelina retaining and what's going on with the secret Herpes?
Well, so let me get this straight, Rick. So since she's become the women's United States champion, suddenly I'm meant to take her seriously now? Now she can go with any woman pretty much in the company. Whereas
trying to establish that a little bit.
Yeah, but she sucked in the ring, so it wasn't even believable at the time still. Even when they tried. Let's be honest.
I don't know if I would say she sucks in the ring. She's a very capable hand. I just don't think that
she's a capable hand, I'm sure.
In the character. I think that their missed opportunity goes all the way back when they were in Puerto Rico and they didn't put the belt on her. That would have been such a great crowning achievement, a huge moment.
God. Against Rhea, though? That's ridiculous, though. It's so not believable.
No. Do you know the energy when they were in that building?
I know. I love that show. I absolutely love that show, right.
So a missed opportunity. And when you miss chances like that, you're not going to capture them again. And it hasn't really been a lot of enthusiasm and excitement from the fans around this title change because Chelsea was doing such tremendous things with it. But hey, they need something right now. They need something else for her to focus on. I like this move. She's doing well. MSG, how much do you love Chelsea Green? Probably nowhere near as much as I do because I love her like to the moon and back.
I love Chelsea Green too, just quietly.
But your thoughts on this whole situation?
I find her entertaining. Yeah, she just got really good character work. when she's on screen. She's a good worker in the ring. Her matches aren't generally that bad. I'm just happy for Zelina Vega. Her husband's back on SmackDown now. She can travel with her husband around the world. So that'll be great for her.
Did you notice her husband was wearing her?
They can shine up their United Women's US Championship. They can film their kitty cats.
Yeah,
and talk about their dark magic together.
Is that where you got the name Aleister from? From the cat? Because when I think of Aleister or something like that, I think of cats.
You're hung up
seriously.
on that name, aren't you?
I fucking hate it. Malachi is not better either, because when I think of Malachi, I think of Malaka. All right, and in Greek that means a jerk off. So every time I would call him Malaka friggin' Black. You know what I mean? So he should just go back to Tommy End, like you said earlier, Gruss. Tommy End was better, but it's probably not up to him because WWE want that money with the name.
There you go. Zelina Vega. She wins her match. Dialed it up for a 619.
Jimmy, let's try to get you in some better spirits here. All right, buddy?
Why am I being such a cunt?
Let's get into the festive. She wins.
She hits 619.
We'll get Jimmy into a better mood here.
She should call it the 6-9. It'd make more sense.
The one, okay. She gets the win. We're done talking about that. We are moving on now.
Fine.
To the Cinco de Mayo celebration match here. Rey Fénix defeats Santos Escobar.
Fuck.
The filler match here. Jimmy, do you guys acknowledge Cinco de Mayo down there in Australia? I don't know why you would, but I'm curious.
I mean, not like the US does, but yeah. I mean, there are Mexicans down here. It's funny though, because when you hear them talk,
well, they don't even acknowledge it in Mexico like we acknowledge it in the US. It's kind of a blown out of proportion holiday.
It's a marketing thing, man. It's all money.
And eat tacos.
Yeah, I mean that's the American way, right?
Rey
Fénix. Come on.
Rey Fénix is here. He's over Escobar. Filler match here. Bigger than a match here, gentlemen. I want to ask you, MSG, I'll start with you. Rey Fénix, we get no follow-up from the embarrassment being cheated at WrestleMania. We're supposed to go back to square one and just be wowed by his moveset. Are you disappointed with that? That we just forget about that? It was a moment. Back to square one, just ooh and ah over his moveset.
I mean, good for him. He got to fight at WrestleMania. I suppose, especially when other people usually have to, when Braun Strowman's crying about not getting on WrestleMania. So good for him. But yeah, I agree with you. This is another case of like, what are they doing with this character when you look at the parallels of Penta, right? When they bought Penta in, there was a lot more buildup. Even now, I think Penta itself, how they've positioned him as far as on Monday Night Raw has been really strong. But I feel like Rey Fénix, they kind of just threw him into the fire and then had him lose for the sake of losing. So him coming back, I guess this week was them now trying to rebuild them, start over with him. I had no problem with the match. The match wasn't bad. It was a shorter match, but Rey Fénix ended up picking up the victory, right? So, I mean, it looked good. It looked good going back and forth, lucha style, right? But I think this is another case now where WWE's bought AAA, and eventually these guys are going to be shoehorned into that, right? Especially because they're doing like a Worlds Collide.
Yeah, coming up in June. Well, it's more involved to NXT, but if we do have that.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll have guys like Rey Fénix and
they'll be involved
on Andrade and Penta and stuff like that. It was all right, but I agree with you. They seem to have hit the reset button with Fénix, so we'll see where they go from there. I think it's too early to judge, but the way they've introduced him so far, not the best.
Yeah, I'm disappointed no follow-up there, especially being cheated the way he was. Maybe they'll go back and revisit that with El Americano as we get more involvement with AAA. Bruce, no, we do not need a Cruiserweight Championship. We don't need any more championships. Any more championships added. Jimmy, your thoughts on Rey Fénix and maybe this restart after the failure there at WrestleMania, just real quick. I don't want to spend too much time on these guys.
Yeah, I'll be brief, but is it just me? I'm probably going to ask you a question right back, because is it just me, or is he's build, the way they're building Fénix is, like Matt said, is nothing to the level of the way they're treating Penta, though. You know what I mean? Like, Penta feels like the much bigger star with him compared to his brother Fénix. He feels like Fénix from AEW still. I don't see anything different with him.
Isn't that the
doesn't give
case
me this
everywhere
aura.
they go? Penta is the bigger star. He has the better look, the better.
I know,
appeal,
but
the
but
draw.
with in WWE they've given him a bit of that what's the word, like sprinkle on him, a bit of that pizzazz a bit. Yeah, like, you know what I mean? Whereas AEW brought him back down a few steps, to be honest. Because think about it, when he came into AEW, he was a huge star, and then they just made him mid in AEW. And now I feel like WWE's totally repaired him when it comes to his, star potential, whereas Phoenix just feels the same.
I think that might be the story of the two brothers, their entire run. Phoenix with a great moveset there, but when it comes to star power, that big time energy, that's gonna be Penta. Phoenix is kind of like just that dry ground beef of the taco, and Penta's that Cesaro, that spice, that sausage, maybe that hot sausage.
You put
habanero sauce spice type of thing.
Sausage in your tacos.
Oh God, yes, it's delicious.
The fuck's wrong with you, man?
So
why did I just do you put like sausage in your tacos, dude?
It's a spicy, like Italian, or not a Mexican one. It's
Italian sausage.
You eat the weirdest fucking things in your fucking state. Your shitty ass fucking chili. Now you're putting sausages in tacos.
You gotta put chorizo in that shit if you're gonna do sausage.
That's what your Penta stuff is, man. Let's talk about some unique things. We're going to jump to the main event. I'm going to save the Randy Orton stuff for our close here. But we do have, this was set up earlier.
Wait, you don't want to, I was going to say, you don't want to talk about the Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton amazing promo that happened before?
Oh my God.
We're talking about it. You're going to learn with me on these MSG. I freaking despise the formula for every review show that's ever done where they just go segment by segment. So I just talk in like the bullet points of the show. So I group everything together. So yes, let's talk about the main event, how we got here. We have the exchange earlier in the show involving Nia. She made her reemergence last week after missing the WrestleMania. She's back in the title picture. She wants that women's championship. Tiffy, she's obliged to take down Nia one more time, but then we also have the introduction of, I did like this. I did like how Naomi interjected herself into this and reminds, because it's attention to the detail here. She reminds everybody that, hey, it wasn't too long ago when Nia was the champ and Naomi was trying to dethrone her to shut down that beast. And who was there to help Nia at every turn? Who screwed over Naomi? It was Tiffy time. And now Naomi is done playing nice. You have got the bitch. You have unwoken this beast. The black bitch is in the house. She is hitting on all cylinders with it, playing that role perfectly. And I like how they tied those loose ends together. So even as the villain now, it makes sense. She wants the title. Naomi wants her opportunity. But Naomi, you've still got some issues. You were bested at WrestleMania. Here comes Jade Cargill. She wants to insert her name, the baddest bitch on the block. She wants into that title picture. So we got all these gears working together, which brings out all this to set up our main event that we can tie all this together with the ladies going at it in a big tag match. Jimmy, you're on the edge of your seat. You want it. You got the mic.
First of all, Zane, someone isolate what RBV said. That's funny. But anyway, first of all, what's up with Naomi's fucking theme?
I don't know.
Did you notice? It's heavy metal, bro. Like, what the fuck are they doing?
Rocking and rolling right now, man. She's bringing a different.
Come on, man. Naomi coming out to heavy metal just doesn't sound right.
You still want her to come out with the glow shit?
No, well, obviously not the glow shit, but something else. Not heavy fucking metal. Like, it just doesn't go with her at all. Like,
there was nothing in this segment that made me think, oh my God, they need to change your music. So.
Well, that's what fucking. And another thing, I can't stand the way.
You're a music guy.
I know, but that stood out to me big time. But second of all, I can't stand her trying to be this heel, man. She comes across like a little girl. Like, like when you tell off a little kid, like, and they get upset and they're like, nah, you know what I mean? With that face. She does like a little girl's sort of like, I'm not putting up with this shit. You know what I mean? Like,
I completely disagree with you. I love the facials. I love the body language.
But see, at first I did like it.
I'm just waiting to start snapping her fingers. Oh no, you didn't stuff.
Yeah, but see,
She's ready
I
to start,
did like it
she's ready to
initially.
start ripping out weaves. That's how they throw down.
I don't buy it though, dude. She just doesn't. She's not. She's changed something that I think it could be even the caution tape. Stop it. Why do you have to have caution written all over your body, man?
You got to come with fixes if you don't like it. I think she's hitting on it. MSG, your thoughts?
What do you want me to talk about here? I'm sorry.
Just jump on in.
I mean, Naomi's. I like the Naomi character right now. Thought she's
Best,
doing a lot.
best work she's ever done.
I agree technically, but I just
You want me to
No, not
fucking
good
respond?
enough.
You want to talk over me, Jimmy? Do you want me to respond?
I'm
here?
sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
I
bro.
was gonna say I agree with Liz here. She says she's not glowing anymore. She's angry now, so that's why they changed to a more metal-based song because metal is angry. So I think that actually makes a lot of sense. I like what they're doing with Naomi. I think that her character change has been a fresh of breath air. You know what I'm trying to fucking say.
We know.
It's a breath of fresh air. Yeah, and caution tape is over. I agree with Zane. Caution tape is definitely over. This match meant it was just all about the aftermath, right? With Jade Cargill and Naomi trying to continue that storyline.
And it's the same shit over and over and over and over again. She's just a bully, Cargill, at this point.
Well, Naomi attacked her from behind, took her out of the tag team championship matches, screwed her out of her title. I mean, so Cargill has a reason to be pissed. She thought this was her friend the whole time, and then Naomi turned her back on her. So, I mean, I think it makes sense from a storyline standpoint. This match was whatever, though. I mean, between the women. I don't know if you guys want to talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about the match stuff. To me, it's always about the bigger the storyline where we're going. Is MSG said everything made sense here. They tied the loose ends together. Everyone said why we're here.
This shouldn't have been the main event.
Why we want this.
But...
No.
I think this is a case of one of those. They realize right now that these 3 hours are running long. You can look at the quarterlies. You know where things are falling off. Even in the 2 hour AEW knows that. They'll slot things in there that they know people are tuning out of. So I think it's these marathon wrestling show mercy main events. So it's like, oh, the girls were in the main event, but they know people aren't sticking around for this.
Well, that's bad booking. Then. That's bad booking then on their part. They should. I mean, and in relation to this whole show, I guess, LA Knight versus Damian Priest probably should have been your main event.
Yeah, that was supposed to be the main event initially, but yeah, it wasn't in the end.
Or was that supposed to be the main event?
That's what they said at the start. At the start of the show, they were meant to go last.
We're supposed to wrestle later tonight, but let's bring a ref out here and let's wrestle now.
Yeah.
Okay, so they didn't advertise that as a match or anything because it was kind of an impromptu there. So,
well, the match was advertised for the main event, but for whatever reason,
they didn't have that match advertised at all. And I looked at the pre-thing still for the watch along, but that's here or there. But also with that, it is a bigger feeling for the women when you are trying to hype them up. You've got a lot of women coming up for NXT. They're trying to put more of a focus on those divisions.
A lot of women coming up for NXT, but they just released 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different women.
Yeah, because they are not on caliber of what they have coming up. You're going to see, and Jimmy T prompted this conversation a couple of weeks ago. It's been sweeping through our platform about the changing of the guard of the top of the food chain in NXT. They're hungry. They're going to come up and start claiming major spots on the main roster.
Speaking of that, you just reminded me, Rick. Where's Cha right now?
Well, with that loss, you're going to let other people have an opportunity to shine here. And she's out on dates with A-Rod. So,
really?
Yeah, her and A-Rod spotted at the Lakers game during the playoffs. Alex Rodriguez, baby.
And who?
Charlotte
Flair?
Yes.
That's disgusting.
Front row.
That is terrible. Fuck that.
You guys didn't see that?
Nah.
That's disgusting.
What a fucking hoe bag.
That's disgusting.
I'm sorry.
I even got to put this one, man. A-Rod, hey, he's a huge wrestling guy. This isn't his first time. He was.
I'm sure he is. Oh yeah, I remember that. I actually remember that. That's true.
It's disgusting.
I mean, if he likes fucking Ric Flair, why not? I mean, shit.
He is a big Ric Flair mark too. So.
Oh god, that's even worse.
She's hobnobbing with A
Hot
Rod right
Nobby.
now. So
That's a good podcast name actually for it.
She'll be on her way back, but yeah.
Woohoo! Can't wait.
God.
So,
Why?
all right. So we've got 3 challengers putting their name out there. We still got Tiffy Time as the champion here. Do we get another fatal 4-way scheduled here for Backlash, gentlemen?
Why not?
To this or
triple threat or something?
This is already again overbooked. Everything is being so overbooked, man. Suddenly, I don't get it, man. Why not have a pay-per-view called Fatal 4-Way? Didn't we have that once?
maybe, I don't know, but yeah, I believe. But that was just because there was one match. That was the main event.
I know it was only one match. Fuck it, do a whole pay-per-view of fucking Fatal 4-Ways.
Yeah, make it a whole tournament. You know?
Yeah. How would that work? Actually, though,
it was back in 2010. Fatal 4-Way.
Oh, so it did exist. I thought so. I remember. I think I got it on DVD actually too, original.
Yeah.
So yes, gentlemen, everybody, that's what we have going on with the top of the women's division there on SmackDown. As I said, obviously they're paying more attention to the Raw division as they got all the highlights over there with Stephanie, NXT champ, Bakura making her way up, Roxanne Perez, Julia there. Still, you got Bianca, still got Ripley, still got Io. A lot of attention to the women on the red brand. And we kind of have maybe the scraps left over for SmackDown.
Yeah, Gross, bring lockdown to the WWE. Put them all in, all at the same time. Let them lock themselves
Fuck
inside
it.
that game.
Bring the King of the Mountain match to WWE.
Oh, God. The worst match ever, man. Disgusting.
All right, MSG, let's wrap things up here on our Blue Band review. I know you had mentioned this was one of the highlights for you. I'm going to kick it to you, gentlemen, because I didn't get to listen to the entire thing. I got the bits and pieces of it. I joined Let's Go Brandon on the watch along, and during this segment, I was talking about White Castles. Of course, the big hype for in his hometown, St. Louis. He's going for the championship. Looking for the Backlash next week.
I don't know. Jimmy T just cued the music, and now I can't hear you.
Jay, why do you have music on?
There you go.
Why
Are we taking it home?
No, we're talking about the. We never said anything about that. And you are way off today, man.
We're talking about Randy Orton right now.
Talking about the Randy Orton.
Sorry, my bad. Yeah, sorry. That was my bad. I thought you were saying we're done, and I'm like, okay, so we're fucking. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
MSG.
Yeah, the Randy Orton segment was decent. It is interesting that we're in 2025 and you got Randy Orton as the baby face now and John Cena as the
finally, right? After 25 years of these guys feuding.
Yeah, so that was interesting. The promo wasn't bad, you know. Randy Orton always cuts a decent promo. His delivery, you know, this was probably the better, I guess, point of the, I don't know what you want to call it. This is the highlight of the night, I guess, for WWE SmackDown. You know, they're building this pay-per-view with only, 2-3 weeks out of WrestleMania. So they're trying to get some intrigue going. It was good. I don't know. There wasn't a lot of real substance other than the fact Randy Orton was just saying, I'm not going to let you delete my family's history. But other than that, in the sea of bullshit, this was, you know, I guess the best thing that I had on the show last night. Jimmy T, what did you think of this thing?
That's so depressing the way you put it together there, man. I swear. That made me
this whole show was depressing.
I know. It was pretty shit, really. I mean, again, it
wasn't that good either.
Well, yeah, that's what we're talking about. But anyway, the point is, it sucked, but not the promo. The show sucked, but the promo, it was cookie cutter Randy Orton. I did like it. I'm not going to hate on it, but it was kind of, I don't want to say meh, but it's like typical Orton. Like, you know what I mean? What else can you say about that other than, you know, I've heard it before. And him about deleting his family. He ain't deleting no family. When did Cena even say that anyway? Let's be honest.
But it's kind of weird that they're going to that. There's so much history, 25 years between these two. They've defined each other with their rivalry. MSG said it's crazy. This is the first time that we're getting Randy as the baby, Cena as the heel. I mean, this is going back to OVW. These guys have been hooking up, have rivaled each other their entire run.
But they're also best friends too, though, in real life.
Yeah. You know, they've known each other, you know, they've been in this business, come up together, been at the top of the game. Both absolute legends in it, Hall of Famers, whatever the case might be. We knew we were going to get this. I know some people, I've gone round and round with Paz about this. He was disappointed that Randy's even challenging, but to me, it's like on a farewell tour of a band's coming out, you want to hear their hits, their greatest all times. That's what this is. I'm a little disappointed that we're getting this rushed. We can't actually tell an actual story.
Really rushed. It's really rushed.
You know, we're trying to get what has been built here for 25 years. They're giving us a big blow off in 2 weeks for this thing. So I feel a little disappointed in that.
Maybe because of it's in St. Louis, so they just, you know what I mean?
Well, no, I mean, it's a perfect, they needed something for Cena coming out of WrestleMania. St. Louis is the perfect storm. Randy's going to be over huge there. And I know they are worried about those audiences turning in favor of Cena right now. As they were turning
not in St. Louis, though.
I didn't say that. Anywhere else, that might be an issue. They know, or if anyone else was challenging Cena in St. Louis, that might not be the case. But because it's Orton, they know where that crowd's favor is going to lie.
Yeah, I think even with Orton, though, even if it wasn't in St. Louis, I still think Orton wouldn't have been booed anyway. For example, against Cena. They'll cheer Cena, but they won't boo Orton.
I think anywhere your best option for people to boo Cena right now, one of those is going to be Randy Orton.
Oh, for sure. They'll boo Cena.
Let me ask you guys this. So I'm excited, looking forward to that. Their matchup, classic rivalry that helped define the company for the last 2.5 decades. There was something else on this show that did pop me. I am looking forward to this. We talked about it on the live watch along. I hope we get this as a match at a Saturday night's main event. But how about last night also we get the segment that kind of ties in to this program. R-Truth speaking up against Randy Orton.
Yeah, that's weird.
Hey, you better take it easy. You're not doing anything to erase any history from my childhood hero. He is the last real champion. Why do we lie to us about that? At some point on this farewell tour, we need Cena to break a wish of R-Truth, and we need those two to lock up in a match somewhere.
Or how about this? How about he rechristens him as Little Jimmy, literally, and he becomes the Little Jimmy to John Cena. I got a feeling they might go almost like the cult of Cena. You know what I mean? Where Truth is going to be under that Cena spell. He's going to start following him around. Don't be surprised if they do that. I mean, you might as well tell a story with it.
We need Cena to break some hearts here before he turns back real quick. Or maybe it is Little Jimmy that convinces Cena to come back to the light so they can move all that merchandise by the end of the year and everything goes on.
God. Who knows? Who knows at this point? I wonder how they're going to actually get to that, Rick, because that's going to be interesting too, by the way. But you know what's funny, though? He's only got at this point, 30-something dates left.
The countdown clock's on, man.
Right. There's not much, dude.
I like the countdown clock. I also was hoping last night watching SmackDown, because the guy kept popping out to me, was right there in the front row, just to the left of the screen, the guy in the lucha mask. And he had a spinner belt the entire night. And I was so helping when Randy Orton was out there that was going to be John Cena. He was going to get to the ring. Juan Cena, if you will, was going to jump the barrier for the sneak attack to pay him back. But we didn't get that. Wishful thinking on my part. Gentlemen, you've already said overall, Ibushi said his opinion that SmackDown, just like he's looking out about putting to sleep, uneventful. We're a week away from a PLE. Didn't do a lot to move him. Didn't have to wow him. Jimmy T, you're kind of in between right now on yesterday's.
I just want to say one thing. There is a freaking chance that the Orton Cena match at Backlash is going to put us all to sleep. No, I'm just saying. There's a good chance of that.
It's not going to be a move set, spot fest, whatever the case might be. It's going to be classic storytelling, a Rip Rogers 101, as Ben would say. That's what we're going to get. It's going to be slow paced. It's going to be those guys waiting for those slow pops. Doing their things, hitting all of their signature, playing their strengths,
everything. No, but for real, I think Orton's a much better storyteller in the ring compared to Cena. I think Cena is actually very overrated in that term. I don't think he's that good at telling a story in the ring, in my opinion, during a match. You know what I mean?
Well, apparently the guy's doing something right. Jimmy's been on top of the business for 20 years.
I know. It's everything else, man. It's politics. You know what I mean? But I mean, he's great on the mic. Probably arguably the best on the mic. You know what I mean? At one stage, has nothing to do. I'm just saying his matches. I feel like others would carry him more than he would carry anyone else.
All right, well, we're going to find out. We're a week away. Of course, next week, SmackDown will be coming to the world from right up the street from where I'm at in Dayton, Ohio. I'm thinking about maybe going up there. Cena is advertised. So it would be his last stop in Southern Ohio. He's advertised for next week's show. The go home before they make their way over to St. Louis for Backlash. So again, we'll be here. But we have to think about our schedule. Maybe we'll just do the pre-show for the Smack Attack next week. Maybe we go to Sunday for the Fallout, the review, or whatever of the whole week there. But right now, gentlemen, we will. If you want to get close to hitting your music there, Jimmy. I
was going to do that. Yeah.
MSG, anything you want to put over before we get out of this train wreck of a Smack Attack?
Yeah, you can check out my podcast, SMB, a South Park Review, on all podcast outlets. We're only 30 hours away from monetization on YouTube, so check us out at South Park Pod on YouTube right now. One of our biggest videos that has blown up. It's 10 minutes of Mr. Garrison as Donald Trump, so if you're interested in that. As well as there's 13 minutes of Butters getting grounded, and I just released an Elon Musk video as well, so go check it out at South Park Pod on YouTube, and just throw it on in the background. If you're bored or something like that, it'll help me out.
Dude, I know how I'm spending the rest of my afternoon. Butters and Mr. Garrison, baby. I'm heading there as soon as we are done here. Jimmy T, what do you got?
I've got bed. That's what I'm going to do. I'm pretty tired after all that, but what I've got next is the wreckage, of course, with myself and the vet at 11 a.m. Eastern on Sunday mornings. So look out for that. And then, of course, every Tuesday mornings at 10 a.m. Eastern, it is I Like It Raw with myself and Big Ray Hernandez. And then next week, of course, right here on the Smack Attack, it's you and I again, Rick. So, that's about it from me.
All right, guys. Thank you, MSG. Thank you so much for the save on the run in for our. Hey, guys, sometimes you got to call it on the fly. I think we saved the match here. We did all right. Reminder out there to the Hameen Army: we are $98 away from Jimmy sending photos of his little Jimmy.
Wait a minute.
Monet. Let's be chat buddies, baby. We are looking forward to it. Thank you, everybody. We are going to cut it out of here for this week's episode of the Smack Attack.
Peace.
This is Channel Attitude. Your voice, your right, your freedom.